Hey guys, welcome back here to the rebuild series. We're going to be taking on the San Francisco 49ers this rebuild. I think they're my very first rebuild actually for Madden 19. I didn't do too great, but I hope we can do a little bit better this rebuild. We're going to have Jimmy G here at quarterback. Matt Breida has actually gotten some very good upgrade points. Ratings boost since the first week. He's went up a lot. He's an 85 overall. Jerick McKinnon's still here. I am going to throw him on the trade block because he might be able to fetch us a good pick or two. Marquise Goodwin, I'm hoping, can develop into our #1 receiver. He's really fast, and he should be able to develop into a good receiver for us. I'm going to put Dante Pettis here above Pierre Garçon because Pierre Garçon's up there in age. He's also going to be on the trade block. And then Trent Taylor is going to be our third receiver. Offensive line tackles are decent, but I do expect Solly to retire quickly because he is like 34. Interiorly, we do need to get a little better. Richburg might be able to last at center, but I do like the young rookie Mike McGlinchey here at tackle. Is an 83 overall, which is solid. And then we're going to have George Kittle here, who's an 88 overall. He's probably had the most ratings boost I've seen since the first week, and 88 overall is insane. He was like a 70-something, bro. But defensively is where you start getting real nasty with this team, especially defensive line. You're going to have Solomon Thomas, who's a real young talent here. DeForest Buckner, Eric Armstead, who's a good run stopper. Maybe get another defensive tackle here to go with Buckner. Cornerbacks, we are going to be decent. I like Witherspoon. And Richard Sherman is one of the players that doesn't regress much. I think it's because he's an elite player here. Even though he's 30, he does not regress. I have seen that in my first rebuild. It takes like 3 or 4 years before he goes down a couple points. Safeties, maybe could use an upgrade here at free safety, but Colbert is a young safety that might be able to develop. And the linebacking core, we are going to be without Reuben Foster. Warner, I think he can develop into be our star linebacker. We just do need to get him a little outside linebacker help here. And then we should be set on defense. So I'm liking the way our team is looking. I'm not sure how many wins we're going to get this first year, but I don't expect to make the playoffs. I'll see you guys back here at midseason though, unless I do get some trade offers for the people I put up on the block. So I am going to have some offers here for Pierre Garçon. Surprisingly, I don't have any for Jerick McKinnon, and that's a little surprising. But I think the best offer here for us is going to be this Ravens pick. I don't want a 2020 pick. I really want picks for this upcoming draft. So this third round pick could really help us out from Baltimore. That's a decent pick for Garçon, especially how late he is in his career. I'm going to accept that. Baltimore is going to get Pierre Garçon, and we're going to get some decent picks in return. Back here at mid-season, we are 2-6. We actually started decent. We were like 3-0, but we just did not end well here. 2-6, which is not surprising. To be honest, we do have some issues on our team that we do need to address this offseason. Players we're going to have to re-sign, though. Let's go ahead and take a look. I don't know if it should be that bad this year, because there's not a whole lot of players that we need to re-sign this first year, I don't believe. Do want to bring back Bradley Pinion because punters and kickers actually do matter in these rebuilds, I've noticed, because if you don't have a good kicker, for sure you miss a lot of extra points. And punters, I'm thinking they help you. I'm not positive, but I'm just going to have to take a guess there that a good punter probably helps you out a little bit. So probably just going to try to bring back the punter, and that's going to be it, really. Nobody else I want to bring back for here, so I'm just going to let everybody else test, and I'll see you guys back here at the end of year one. We'll see how we finished and what our stats were. End of the year here, not surprising to not make the playoffs the first year. I did expect this to be a little bit longer of a rebuild. We finished 4-12, which isn't great. Yeah, it's going to be a tough time trying to win this division, especially with the Rams in it. It's not going to be easy. Okay, doesn't look like Garoppolo had a great year. Well, actually, 3,500 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions, 58% completion rates. All right, 58% completion rate definitely isn't good, but that's a decent touchdown to interception ratio. Still not great. Rushing the ball, okay, Matt Breida, over 1,000 yards. That's really good to start things off. 9 touchdowns. Pretty good year by him. Receiving the ball, Marquise Goodwin, 77 receptions, 900 yards, and 5 touchdowns. George Kittle here with 600 yards, 5 touchdowns. Dante Pettis here doing work, 62 receptions, 700 yards, and 7 touchdowns. And then Trent Taylor did decent as the third receiver here. He had about 500 yards here and 4 touchdowns. I'm curious to see how our O-line did, and they didn't hold up real great, allowing double-digit sacks apiece. That's not good. Defensively, Fred Warner is going to lead the team in tackles with 126, and then it goes real down from there. He led the team by 30, dude. That's pretty impressive. Sacks-wise, we get 7.5 by DeForest Buckner, which is insane. 5 by Armstead. 2 by Solomon Thomas. Want a little bit more production from him. Interceptions. We're going to get 2 from Jaquiski Tartt. Fred Warner with 1. Yeah, a thing I ran into with the 49ers the first year I did them, they don't get picks a lot. I'm not sure what to do there. Guess just try to draft a few more guys that can get some interceptions for us. But other than that, I mean, our offense needs to perform a little better, to be honest with you. I'm not real happy with that production. But let's go ahead and upgrade our players here, and then we'll hop into free agency. In free agency here, Kareem Hunt's going to be the top running back here, and the Rams are offering him a contract. It's a little dicey there for sure. And then the Cowboys, okay, look at that. How is that realistic, bro? Look at the 3 teams offering him a contract. The Rams have Todd Gurley, the Cowboys have Elliott, and the Jags have Fournette. That's a little tough. That's my problem here with the sim sometimes. The CPU just makes kind of contracts that I'm not real high on, but I mean, it is what it is here. Players we're going to offer, though, we're going to offer a contract to Trevor Williams. I think he'd really help us in the cornerback department if you add him plus Richard Sherman together. That'd be pretty good, and then Witherspoon would be able to play the slot full time. That'd be a real nice trio there of cornerbacks. And then you look at a guard. Dolphins always offer this guy a monster contract, but I really want him. Considering we're in the NFC West here, we are going to need some pass blocking against the guard positions like Aaron Donald, players like that, and Ndamukong Suh. So I'm planning on moving him to guard if I'm able to sign him. Hopefully he does want to come here to the 49ers. That would be a huge signing. Give us a little more protection here for Jimmy G. We'll see if he's going to accept. That'd be really big if he does. Okay, so he accepts, and Trevor Williams holds out, so I'll try to offer him a little bit more. But I'll see you guys here in the draft. Here in the draft, we do pick 3rd overall, so let's go ahead and see who's going to be available for us. There was some real good players on the board, so I'm wondering if any of them are still going to be available. All right, there still is going to be a few guys that I do want. I have a few offensive line prospects I do want to take a little later in the draft. That guard is still available, though, who really is a nice guard. But to be honest, I'm looking more towards defense, to be honest. This power rusher, he could be worth this pick. Not a great bench reps, 8th, so I don't know if I'm going to roll with him. And I mean, this guy, he's hard to pass on when you look at his skills. I mean, he's an early first-round talent. He looks like he's a monster. If you pair him with DeForest Buckner, I just think that's going to be a little outrageous. I mean, it's either that or really going guard, to be honest. I know guard isn't like the most sexiest pick, but it could work out for us. It definitely could work out if we did take this guard. He's a scheme fit. And I think we're going to have to do it because offensive line has always came back to bite me. There's some good guys available, but I think I'm going to have to roll with him. He's going to be a 79 overall. It was a little bit of a reach, to be honest with you. Okay, that definitely was a reach. I'm not going to lie. That was not a great pick on my part. Thought it was going to be way better than that. May have completely botched that pick. Considering how high we picked, that's a little tough. That's definitely not great for me. At all, dude. Are all the defensive tackles off the board right now? There's a lot of first rounders. They are all off the board. At least the ones I wanted. Whoa, that guy's got a 7.4 combine, dude. Is there any corners available still here? I mean, there is some good outside linebackers that we still do need. Let's go ahead and see. The left tackle I want isn't going to go till late. The wide receiver I want, who's a second round talent, is still there. But I feel like we could find another one. Let's go ahead and take an outside linebacker here. That should really help us out. This guy's probably the best one on the board right now. Good bench reps. He's 76 overall. He has star development. I mean, he's a 54 in true talent. He's a real good run stopper, though, so we might bounce him over to left outside linebacker, where I think that is going to be a scheme fit for him. So let's go ahead and get to the third pick here. We are going to have 2 third-round picks, because keep in mind, we did make that trade with Pierre Garçon to the Ravens. So let's go ahead and see. Is there still going to be a left? Okay, I think I'm going to take the left tackle now, to be honest, just to be safe, because when you look at this guy's skill sets, he's really good. I mean, really good. So yeah, 77 overall, 39 in true talent for us. Yeah, he's a really good left tackle. Should be able to be our star tackle throughout the whole rebuild. So I really like that pick there. And then let's go ahead and get to the 4th round pick. I'm hoping actually no, we still do have another 3rd round pick. Our offensive line is probably set, to be honest. Is there any corners available? That's the real question here. I did have a few that I might have wanted to go after. It doesn't look like I had any favorite that's still available. So is there still going to be a linebacker, to be honest, that I want? I mean, this guy's not bad. He's a run stopper still. Doesn't have the best combine, but he's a great tackler, and that's really what I want. So I'm going to go with him. He's going to be a 73 overall. I think I can move him over to an outside linebacker spot, and he should be pretty decent there. I mean, just needs to work on that zone coverage a little bit, but besides that, that's still a pretty decent pick. And then let's go ahead and get here to the 4th pick. Let's see, I did need a wide receiver. There's really not any of those available left, though. Do I have anybody on my draft board? I do have a tackle. He's a pass protector, 3rd and bench. I guess we'll just roll with that. See what we get there. We get a 77 overall offensive lineman. And he's not going to be the best, to be honest. I mean, I might just throw him on the trade block, to be honest. But that is going to be the last pick I show for this draft. Unless I do, of course, find a gem. But I'll see you guys at the start of next season. So start of year 2 here. We're going to look at our team. Our offensive line is definitely greatly improved. When you look at our interior offensive line, we got the rookie starting. And actually, it's not that bad of a pick. He's actually a 79 overall. It seemed like he was a little bit of a bust because he said he was 16th in true talent, but 79 overall guard as a rookie. I'll take that. Then we get Mewhord here as our left guard, which should help protect against the likes of Aaron Donald and players like that here in the NFC. Our center probably could use an upgrade, but I like our tackle situation a lot with Mike McGlinchey and then Wells. I'm actually going to throw this tackle on the trade block. Sebechki, I picked him up in the draft. And I did draft a tackle that's better than him, so there's no reason not to try to get a pick or 2 out of it. Then our receiving core is basically the same here with Goodwin, Pettis, and Trent Taylor. Wasn't able to upgrade that much. He was kind of focused on just securing our offensive line. Matt Breed is still going to be the starting tailback for us. And then Garoppolo is going to be the quarterback along with Kittle at tight end. McKinnon's still going to be on the trade block, though, so we'll see if we'll get any offers for him. Defensively, our defensive line is really good. When you look at Solomon Thomas, he's upgrading well. DeForest Buckner's still upgrading. Eric Armstead's up to an 82 overall. And then Dishman's not a great defensive tackle, but he is going to have a lot of finesse move. I picked him up in the draft. Probably not a long-term option, but we'll see how he plays. Cornerbacks and safeties are still going to be the same with Sherman there. Akilah Witherspoon, I'm hoping, can get up to maybe an 80 overall-ish this season. That would be real key for us. And then, yeah, safeties are, I mean, they're decent. Colbert has star development, so he should start upgrading. And then our linebacking core is pretty good with 2 rookies starting on the outside linebacking right there. And then you got Fred Warner here at the middle linebacker. We should be tackling machines, though, at the linebacking position. We have some real good linebackers that I'm excited about to see what they can do. Let's go ahead and set our season goal for this year. I think we can go 8 wins, improve by at least 4 wins from last year. We'll see, though, what we can do. Let's go ahead and hop into the mid-season, see what our record's looking like in the players we're going to have to try to bring back. We're not doing too hot here. 1-6, really not great at all. I mean, I expected to be a little bit improved, but to be honest, we starting worse than we did the first year, which is a bit tough considering we did get better at a lot of the positions, including offensive line. Confidence is hurting right now for our team, so that's not going to be great either. Players that need to come back, though, DeForest Buckner, he's got to come back. Matt Breida, long-term option, he's coming back. Eric Armstead, definitely want to bring him back with an 82 overall. He's only 25. So, I mean, yeah, our defensive line is just really young. I guess we're just kind of counting on them to upgrade a little bit. Other than that, though, I don't think I want to bring anybody else back. So just these main 3 players here, but that's going to take up a lot of cap. DeForest Buckner's going to want a monster contract, and rightfully so. You know, he's earned that, but we're going to take a pretty substantial cap hit signing these players, but it's definitely going to be worth it. So no playoffs here in year 2. We are going to finish 6-10, which is greatly improved from, well, not greatly improved. It's just improved since last year. We get 2 wins more. I was actually hoping for a little bit more. Yeah, only 2 wins more. That's really not great. I guess let's go ahead and take a look at the stats for the year. See if we did anything. Garoppolo, I mean, not a great year. 3,800 yards, 24 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. He's getting a decent amount of pass attempts. Nearly up there to 600. I mean, we should be getting a few more yards here with him. Maybe we just need to upgrade that receiving core a bit. But yeah, not a great season from Garoppolo. Matt Breida, though, has 1,000 yards again, 6 touchdowns. 5 fumbles isn't going to work, though. That definitely's got to go down. It's got to go down. Receiving the ball, Dante Pettis leads the team in receptions with 88. He's got 800 yards and 6 touchdowns. Marquise Goodwin with 85 receptions, 960 yards, 6 touchdowns. George Kittle, 600 yards, 5 touchdowns. And then Trent Taylor having a great year, 57 receptions, 850 yards, 3 touchdowns, averaging 15 yards per reception. Blocking, let's see what we did here. Okay, well, our tackles, they allowed a lot. Oh, our whole team allowed a lot. Even Jack Mewhort coming in from free agency allows a lot of sacks. That's not what you want to see there. Defensively, what do we do here? Ooh, a rookie led the team in tackles here with 107. Then Akilo Witherspoon with 105. Fred Warner with 102. Richard Sherman's always going to be up there in tackles as well. What about sacks-wise? We get 11.5 by DeForest Buckner. And we're running a 4-3, dude. That's just insane. He's a D tackle. Solomon Thomas improving greatly with 5 more sacks than last year, 7. Eric Armstead up there with 6. Gordon McCree there, the outside linebacker rookie with 4. So that's really impressive there. Interceptions, we get 4 from Fred Warner. We get 2 from Williams, 2 from Sherman, 1 from Witherspoon, and 1 from Tart. Let's just go ahead and quickly check out if we did get any of the yearly awards. MVP goes to Phillip Rivers, or we mentioned, nope. NFC Offensive Player goes to Drew Brees. Oh, we don't have anybody in it. Defensive Player, Luke Keeley. Not surprising. Offensive Rookie. Okay, we don't have anybody there, dude. Come on, do we got anybody? Defensive Rookie goes to Gordon McCree. That's really good. Best Quarterback, Drew Brees. We're not even in the conversation. Running Back, nobody. Wide Receiver, Michael Thomas is going to be up there. We're not going to have anybody in there either. Offensive Line, still nobody. Defensive Line, DeMarcus Lawrence comes in winning it. DeForest Buckner coming in at 6. Linebackers, Anthony Barr's the number 1. Fred Warner coming in at 5. Defensive backs, Byron Jones is actually going to be the number 1. And we don't have anybody, so not a lot of people at all mentioned in the yearly awards. Let's go ahead and upgrade our players real quick here, and then we'll hop into free agency. So before we did hop into free agency here, I do want to try to make a trade happen. I mean, it is going to be a superstar trade, but it's kind of realistic. You know, Odell Beckham was being around the league here. Maybe he could be traded. He might have been on the trade block for a while. They wanted a decent amount to get him. So we do have a left tackle. Obviously, the Giants are going to need a left tackle because we got two, remember, and they're both pretty good. This is the guy I want to trade, right? Let's go ahead and make sure it is. So I'm not trading my starting one. Yeah, this guy's the left tackle. They do need a pass blocker. It probably makes sense for them. I'm going to add a first-round pick also. And then we're probably going to have to add maybe a first-round pick next year. That's going to be giving up a lot of draft capital, though, to be honest. A lot of draft capital. They said multiple first rounds, so to make this realistic, I am going to put 2 first rounds up, a good left tackle. So we'll see if this is going to go through, and it does. We get Odell Beckham in a monster trade here. We give up 2 first-round picks, a good left tackle with a lot of upside. He's young. He's only like 23. He's a 77 overall. So to be honest, I think this is a realistic trade. So I just wanted to get Jimmy G some receiver help that he needed. And to be honest, that was kind of maybe a place he could have landed when he was on the trade block. So I'm happy with that. Our receiving core is set. We do give up some draft capital, but I'm hoping it's going to be worth it. Going into the free agents, though, here's who I'm going to be offering a couple contracts to. Of course, you know, the one rebuild, we got a tight end. There's a few available that are actually really good. But my negotiations, I'm going to offer Emmanuel Ogbah here a contract. And then I'm going to offer Anthony Brown a contract, hoping he can play on the other side of Richard Sherman and play well. But this is the reason I'm going to sign Emmanuel Ogbah, because I feel like Eric Armstead is more of a defensive tackle to me, because he's not that fast. He does have a lot of power moves. He's got great strength. So I think if we move him into the defensive tackle spot and we're able to land Emmanuel Ogbah, our defensive line would be just disgusting. I mean, it really would. Let's go ahead and sim forward here to the next week, see if we land any of these players, and we land both of them. That's going to be huge for us here. Real big signings. Now let's go ahead and hop into the draft, see if we can make this offseason even better than we already did with these monster trades and free agents that we just picked up. So to be honest here, I did not show their draft because we did give up our first round pick, so really not a lot of people here are going to start. Actually, only one out of this draft is going to start. Our team's pretty well built right now. I'm just banking on a lot of them developing. And yeah, the only guy that might start here is going to be Akeem Tixon, because he's going to be a running back. He's not going to start above Matt Breida, but I feel like he could be a really nice power back. When you look at his stats here, he's got quick development. He's a 78 overall. I mean, he's going to be a monster to try to take down with 92 trucking. He can break tackles at an alarming rate. He's decently elusive. He has decent catching. I mean, this is a pretty big pickup for us to give us a real nice duo here for the running backs. And besides that, really nobody else is going to start. So that's going to be it here for the draft recap. So season 3 is here, and I'm liking the way our team is looking a lot here. I really am. When you look at our offense, we go out and get that massive trade there for Odell. We got Marquise Goodwin now and Dante Pettis as our main 3 receivers, along with George Kittle, who is really emerging here in this rebuild. Then you got Matt Breida. We got Addison, the rookie running back we picked up, and then Jerick McKinnon, Jimmy Garoppolo, still an 84 overall. Offensive line is actually pretty decent when you look at it. Our tackles are young and should be able to develop. Interiorly, we're good on the guards. Center could possibly use an upgrade. Defensively, we should make some noise this year. Defense, I mean, we have a real nasty one. Our defensive line, especially with Solomon Thomas, DeForest Buckner, and then moving Eric Armstead to defensive tackle. That pickup of Emmanuel Ogbah was huge. He gives us the much-needed pass rush to go along with this just nasty defensive line, dude. It's really good. And then our safeties, Colbert is upgrading well up to an 80 overall. And then Jaquiski Tart is sitting at a nice 85 overall. Linebacking cores are getting better. They really are. McCree's 78 overall. Kenny 79 overall. And then Fred Warner here leading the linebacking core with an 80 overall. I really like the way we look. I'm going to try something a little different this year. So my third down running back is going to be Jerick McKinnon, and then my power running back is going to be Addison. So I feel like we're going to have like a 3 running back trio here to try to test out. Matt Breida is obviously going to be our number 1 running back, but once it gets into those situations, I'm curious to see how many yards they're going to get at the end of the year, considering we are going to be using a trio of running backs. So I'm excited to see how that pans out, but I feel like we should make the playoffs this year, if I'm being honest. We got a good team, a real good team. That pickup of Odell was huge, so I'm hoping we can make a push to the playoffs here in year 3. We'll see, though. So at the mid-season point once more here, we are going to be 3-4, which is a little disappointing. I thought we'd start off a little bit hotter than we did. I mean, we got some receivers, so there really should be no excuses here for Garoppolo if he's having a bad year so far, but we'll see that at the end of the season. Players we're going to have to re-sign. Richard Sherman's 31, but he hasn't regressed much, so I really want to bring him back. We're in year 3. I mean, there's only 2 years left after this, so I definitely want to bring him back for probably the remainder of the rebuild. George Kittle, he's got to come back. I mean, he's an 89 overall. He's really good. Kyle Juszczyk, I'd really like to bring him back as well. Jaquiski Tartt's going to be tough. I mean, he really is going to be tough. There's a lot of players we're going to have to re-sign, so I think Jaquiski Tartt is going to have to be let go of here, unfortunately, because we got Solomon Thomas we're going to have to bring back. Adrian Colbert's going to be our free safety, and I think he's going to be more valuable than Jaquiski Tartt. Akilah Witherspoon's got to come back, probably going to let Trent Taylor go. So there's a lot of people we got to re-sign this offseason, and it's going to take a lot of cap, so we're probably going to have to let a player or 2 go. But I'm going to try to get the main ones down here and probably just let go of here Jaquiski Tartt and Trent Taylor. Those are the big names probably I'm going to let test. But other than that, we should be able to try and get all these other players re-signed. So no playoffs once again here in year 3. Unfortunately, that's a little tough. That is definitely not good. You know, we only have 2 years left, but we did finish 9-7, which we are improving every year usually. Yeah, so we started out like 4-12, and we've got all the way up to 9-7. So next year, hopefully, we can improve even more. Wow, okay. It looks like Jimmy Garoppolo had a year, dude. How did we not make the playoffs? Nearly 4,400 yards, 31 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. I'm curious to see these rushing attempts here. Might have been a mistake to try to this trio here. You got Matt Breida with 237 attempts, 800 yards, 7 touchdowns. Addison here with 83 carries, 250 yards, 8 touchdowns. And then Jerick McKinnon, 45 attempts, 210 and 4 touchdowns. I don't know. Maybe I'll just keep it a 2-1 with Matt Breida being the third down running back. And then Akeem here being the power running back, because Jerick McKinnon didn't seem to do real much here. Receiving the ball, we got George Kittle coming in with 74 receptions, 700 yards, 6 touchdowns. Odell, 71 receptions, nearly 1,000 yards, 4 touchdowns. Like to see a little bit more touchdowns from him. Marquise Goodwin, 70 receptions, 700 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And then Dante Pettis actually did pretty well. 62 receptions, 1,000 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Jerick McKinnon actually did pretty good here in the slot. I mean, as a running back receiver, he had 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, actually nearly 500 yards. Would have loved to see a little bit more production, though, from Odell. But blocking the ball, I'm hoping we took a step forward here. And our tackles still allow double-digit sacks, man. I don't know what to do about that. I really don't. Is it just the division we're playing in? Because we do have some nasty pass rushers to go against, but that's always tough. And then you got tackles here. Fred Warner leads the team with 134. Gordon McCree here with 100. Anthony Brown, 86. Sacks, we get 7.5 from Eric Armstead from the defensive tackle spots. That's a great move we did there. Emmanuel Ogbah comes in, gets a 7. 6.5 by DeForest Buckner. Fred Warner, 4.5. Solomon Thomas, a little bit of a down year with only 2.5 sacks. But we're getting some production now from these defensive line monsters that we're starting to put together. Interceptions. Still having that interception bug, not getting much. Jaquiski Tartt comes in with 3. We're probably going to let him go. and our corners just aren't getting picks. They really aren't. That could possibly be what's the problem. Yeah, that's gonna hurt us a little bit. Hopefully there's somebody in free agency though we can pick up, but that's gonna be it here for the end of the season. Actually, let's go ahead and see the yearly awards real fast. MVP goes to Todd Gurley. Jimmy Garoppolo's in the conversation, coming in at the number 8 spot. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Todd Gurley. We're coming in at number 5 with Garoppolo. So that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. I think I just seen that Dak Prescott was on the Saints. So that's a little scary. Definitely a little scary there. But let's go ahead and hop into free agency, see if anybody's going to be available for our taking. So here in free agency, there is going to be a few players available, a lot of running backs here in free agency, but here's going to be my negotiations. I'm going to offer Jabril Peppers a contract, try to fill that hole that Jaquiski Tart left of leaving here. Jason Kelsey is up there in age, but we do only have 2 years left in this rebuild, and I'm hoping he could stay for the next 2 years, so I'm going to offer him a hefty contract to try to get him to come over here to the 49ers. That's really the only missing piece we have on the O-line. And then I'm going to try to pick up Curtis Samuel because Marquise Goodwin has taken a step back. He's like an 80 overall right now. So I think Curtis Samuel would really emerge here if we're able to pick him up. That would be a really good signing for us. And I'd be excited to try to get him on the team and see what he can do with these great receivers we have. Let's go ahead and see if we're going to land any of these juicy free agents, and all 3 of them accept. That's going to help us out a lot heading into year 4 here. I'm happy with this free agency period, and keep in mind we're still not going to have a first round pick because we did give up 2 in that Odell trade, so hopefully that ends up paying off for us. So doing another draft recap, really nobody here. I am going to start. Once you get this late in a rebuild, usually you're not going to find anybody in the draft that should start. I kind of got my team built right now. I'm just hoping this sim, helps a brother out here and gets me to the playoffs at least. That's what I'm hoping for, because we got a pretty solid team right now, especially defensively and offensively with Odell Beckham in our team. So yeah, that's going to be it for this draft recap. Really nobody to go over because none of them are going to start for us. So let's go ahead and hop into the 4th season. So back here at year 4, I mean, we've improved every year here. Last year, 9-7 we finished. So I think this year could be a breakout year. We got a really good team emerging here. I mean, when you look at us, Jimmy Garoppolo's still here. Matt Breida is a great 87 overall. We got Odell with 99. Dante Pettis, he's got star development too. So he's going to be our second receiver. And then Curtis Samuel is going to come in and be our slot guy. I'm curious to see how he is going to play. Our offensive line is actually really good. This is one of the better offensive lines I've had. We got a reliable left tackle. We got good interior guards and a center. And then Mike McGlinchey, 85 overall. Best offensive line on our team. George Kittle, 89 overall. And then when you get to the defensive side, we are really good. I mean, really good. Cornerbacks could maybe use another elite player, but Richard Sherman's still holding on to that 89 overall. And I like Akilah Witherspoon in the slot. Safeties, we got Colbert at an 81 overall. And then we were able to pick up Jabril Peppers with an 87 overall. Linebacking core is really decent. They're tackling machines, like I'm saying, dude. They're really good. Our front 7 as a whole is really good because you got Solomon Thomas with an 82 overall, DeForest Buckner, 94, Eric Armstead, 83, and then Emmanuel Ogbah, 87. So I'm liking the way our team is looking here. So let's go ahead here and hop into the mid-season points, and we'll see what we're looking like and if we're in playoff contention maybe. And the players we're going to have to resign here maybe heading into year 5 if we can't get the Super Bowl here in year 4. Now, bro, this is just starting to get outrageous. How are we 1-6, man? Like, for real, though. I'm not even kidding here. Like, we're 1-6? The sim this year is just broken, dude. It really is. How is this team 1-6? I'm not getting it. I really am not, dude. 1-6, and I mean, yeah, I really don't know what to say about it. I really don't. We're in the 4th year here. We got a really good team. I don't know, but players we're going to have to resign here heading into next year. Mike McGlinchey, definitely want to bring him back. Fred Warner, got to bring him back. Dante Pettis is coming back as well. Other than that, I'm probably going to let everybody test, including Jerick McKinnon here and Marquise Goodwin. But yeah, definitely want to bring back Warner, Pettis, and McGlinchey. And hopefully we can maybe, I mean, I don't know. I don't even think it's possible to make the playoffs now, but we'll see. Let's go ahead and simulate here to the end of the season, and I'll see you guys then. So somehow after starting 1-6, we come out and make the playoffs. So that means we won out the entire rest of the second half of the season, which is really impressive. We finished 10-6, still don't win the division, so we're gonna have to play in the wild card round. But I'm just happy to be in the playoffs here, and that's a pretty good win streak. They're on like a 9-win streak, bro. Jimmy Garoppolo didn't have a great year, and I'm not sure why. He's got all the weapons he could possibly desire. He's got 3,600 yards, 24 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Rushing the ball, Matt Breida has 1,000 yards, not great. But Akeem Atkinson, he's going to come in and have 500 yards, 10 touchdowns. So that's a great little duo there going on. Odell kind of just takes over. 88 receptions, 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns. George Kittle, 600 yards, 4 touchdowns. Dante Pettis, 500 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Curtis Samuel did pretty decent from the slot. Didn't get a lot of receptions, but made up for it in the yards after the catch with 650 and 5 touchdowns. I'll take that. Offensive line is definitely allowing a lot fewer sacks than they usually do. So I'm really happy with that right there. Defensively, we're going to have Fred Warner, who leads the team in tackles again with 114. Anthony Brown with 94. Not a lot of tackles here altogether. I mean, a lot of tackles, but nobody that really just blew your socks off. Sack-wise, we're going to get 10.5 from DeForest Buckner, 8 from Eric Armstead, Solomon Thomas with 5.5, and Emmanuel Ogbah with 5. And it's definitely weird seeing your defensive tackles getting more sacks than your ends. Interceptions, we get 2 by Fred Warner, 2 by David Mumphrey, 1 by DeCon Kinney, Jabril Peppers, Anthony Brown, and then Colbert with 1. So as a whole, I mean, we did decent. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's not actually a real decent stats on either side of the ball, to be honest with you, especially Jimmy Garoppolo. You got to throw for a little bit more yards than that, bro, especially with the weapons you have. But let's go ahead and hop into this playoff game here and see if we can maybe upset Green Bay at Green Bay. Even though they're only an 8-8 record, it's still probably going to be a tough game for us. First time in the playoffs here. It's going to be a snowy one, taking on Green Bay. Should not be an easy game at all. But we'll see if our team can do anything. We're driving down the field decently. We get a touchdown, but we're going to have to get a lot of those. Actually, Green Bay doesn't score. Come on, man. Big field goal. Okay, we hit the field goal, which is big. Oh, Green Bay gets a turnover, it looks like. And we're going to score a touchdown. Green Bay answers. Can we get a 2-minute drill? Packers can't score here, but I'm really hoping we can move the ball a little bit. Come on. Score. Yes, we score a touchdown. And Green Bay is struggling against our defense. I don't want to jinx myself like I did last rebuild. 10 points lead here in the 4th. We're in field goal range, and we score a touchdown. And that might very well do it. I think it will. Green Bay loses at home to us, and we finally get into the playoffs, and we make a statement here, taking out Green Bay, led by Aaron Rodgers. Jimmy Garoppolo had a decent game here. Let's see what our team did. Jimmy Garoppolo had to throw it 39 times, had 2 touchdowns. Matt Breida, 100 yards, I'll take it. Receiving the ball, Curtis Samuel putting up some good numbers. Odell in there as well. Not as involved as I would like, but we'll see. Our offensive line allowed 3 sacks against Green Bay, bro. Did we get any sacks here? We got 1 by Armstead, 1 by Buckner, and Fred Warner comes up with an interception. So, I mean, we just went through their Green Bay pretty easily. So I'm hoping this might be a path to the Super Bowl for us. Let's go ahead and check out who we're going to be playing in the divisional round. Oh no, so now we're going to be taking on the Rams. That's not an easy matchup, bro. That's a tough one. They're 13-3. Yeah, that's not going to be easy at all, but we'll see if we can take them out. I mean, If we can take the Rams out, that's going to be a huge statement. So we're going to be playing at the Coliseum here. We'll see what we can do against the division rival Rams. Their defense should be nasty, though. Red zone alert. Can we score? That would be huge. No, we got to take a field goal. And the Rams have to punt it away. Come on, please. Or we only score a field goal, but the Rams score a touchdown. That's not good. Come on. Yes, we score a touchdown. That's really good for us. And we're going to get a chance to score before half, and we do. And we get the ball to start the half. The Rams get the ball back, though. They score a touchdown. And the Rams get it again. Can we make a stand, please? Oh, they go for it on 4th down and don't make it, but we have to punt it away anyway. And that's not going to help us. The Rams only score a field goal. We're still in the lead, please. Oh, 4th down alert, really? Keep the drive alive? Oh my god, dude. Looks like they're going for it on 4th down. It's 3rd and 10, it says. Alright, come on, please. Can we take out the Rams? Big field goal. We hit it. We're going to leave them 55 seconds to drive down the field, and they do. Just like they always do, bro. Just like they always do. That happens to me every game. There's like 55 seconds left. And they just go down the field and destroy my life. Come on, man. That's going to be it for this playoff one, bro. We're going to have to head into year 5 and see what we can do there. It's definitely been a rough rebuild so far, man. A rough one. So doing another draft recap here. I didn't show the free agency because I was actually in the negative. So there's really no point to. Just because I couldn't sign anyone. Draft recap again. Nobody's going to start here. Our team is pretty much fully built up. I'm just going to have to rely on the sim to help me out. I mean, yeah, that last playoff game was definitely tough. I'm still salty about it. But, I mean, that's fine. That's fine, bro. If they want to cheat me, they can cheat me out. But we'll see what we can do here in year 5. Let's go ahead and get into it. Well, we're going to be back here in year 5, and we know what time that is. It's Super Bowl or bust, so that's... I mean, we got to win the Super Bowl, or this rebuild is over, and it is going to be a failure. But players we got here, we're going to have Jimmy Garoppolo still. It's going to basically be the same players as last year, because I wasn't able to get anybody in free agency, had no cap, so it's going to be Odell, Pettis, Samuel. We're going to still have Matt Breida in the power back there in Axon. And then our offensive line is the same. Muherd is regressing at an alarming rate, to be honest with you. But other than that, our offensive line is still serviceable, especially McGlinchey here. Kittle is still going to be an 89 overall. Defensively, we're going to be the exact same as well. We're going to have a good linebacking core, good defensive line that should be getting more sacks than they are, to be honest. I mean, Emmanuel Ogbah hasn't really had the amount of sacks that I'd hoped he would have had. And we're just not getting interceptions, to be honest. We're just not. I'm not sure why. Richard Sherman should be out here getting picks. He's still an 89 overall. Hasn't regressed much at all. And then safeties are going to be good. So our team is really good here. I'm going to hope it's enough to make the playoffs. I'm not going to check back here at midseason because it is the 5th and final season, so I don't need to resign anybody anyway. So we're just going to head straight to the end of the season, and we'll see if we make the playoffs. All right, just simulating these last few weeks here. Let's see what happens. Did we make the playoffs? All right, we don't. We end the rebuild in a bitter way here. That's tough. That's tough. What do we finish? We finished 9-7. Just couldn't seem to get over that hump there. We really couldn't. We were like a 10-6, 9-7 team. And for a while, we only had 4 wins. I'm not sure why, I'm really not sure why. We had a disgusting defensive line. DeForest Buckner is a monster. He was definitely the face of this rebuild. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo didn't play up to how high of a level I thought he would, to be honest with you. I thought he'd be out here throwing darts about 4,000, maybe 4,500 yards a game, especially when you look at the talent he had to play with. A little disappointed in him there. Offensive line never really played well. I mean, we always allowed double-digit sacks. I mean, yeah, it was a tough one. Definitely was a tough one. What was the stats for him to end this rebuild? I mean, he had a decent year this year. Of course. How, dude? Why didn't we make the playoffs then? 4,700 yards, 33 touchdowns to 13 interceptions. Just quickly go over this. Not a great year by Breida. Receiving the ball, Odell goes off. We have 200-yard reception receivers, and George Kittle 1,000 yards. Odell 1,407 touchdowns by Odell and 10 by Kittle. I mean, yeah, we had a decent year. Curtis Samuel out here doing things. Did our offensive line play well? I mean, McGlinchey, our best offensive lineman, allows 14 sacks. What do we get for sacks wise though? Did we get anything? 9.5 by Agba, 8 by Armstead, 7.5 by Buckner, 5 by Thomas. Interceptions, still not getting a lot of them. I'm not sure what the problem there was, but the whole rebuild, we just couldn't get picks. But that's going to be it for this rebuild. I mean, I'm not sure what else I could have done. I probably messed up somewhere, but I thought we had a good enough team to at least make the playoffs a couple of times. We only made it once. But if you guys do have another suggestion for another rebuild, let me know in the comments, and I'll shout you out at the start of the next rebuild. I hope you guys have been enjoying. If you have, make sure you hit that sub button. It will be greatly appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that sub button as well. That'll be greatly appreciated. Also, bro, I'll see you guys next time. Hope you're enjoying these series as much as I am. Peace out.